Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors are moving slowly in negotiations, and fans are apprehensive. One of their biggest needs right now is to sign a big center and address the Jonathan Kuminga situation. A major trade with the Brooklyn Nets is being suggested, bringing center Nick Claxton to the Warriors. Patience is the name of the game for the Golden State Warriors this offseason. The team continues to stall its free agency because of the uncertainty surrounding forward Jonathan Kuminga. The two sides are nowhere near completing a deal, according to ClutchPoints insider Brett Siegel. The Dubs' main problem is that there simply isn't a market for Kuminga right now, Siegel reported. This situation could drag into August, which continues to stall other deals the team has lined up in free agency. Those standby deals include veteran center Al Horford and guard DeAnthony Melton, according to Siegel. They're two deals that Golden State is hopeful of completing, but they require resolving the Kuminga situation first. Warriors' perfect move: trade Kuminga for a center. The Warriors are longing for a center, evident in their interest in Horford. Even if they sign the 39-year-old, trading Kuminga for a younger and more versatile center is the perfect offseason move for Golden State. A few teams are vying for young stars and could be willing to part with their center to trade for a player like Kuminga. Nick Claxton. The Nets are another team seemingly with no immediate plan for the future. They have stockpiled draft picks, including 5 first-rounders in the 2025 draft, but there is no urgency to win now. While Nick Claxton is only 26 years old, he's entering his 7th season in the league and has recently become one of the most reliable players in the league, appearing in at least 70 games in each of the last 3 seasons. With Stephen Curry and Green facilitating the offense, and a clear need for a rim protector, these are the type of centers who could strengthen the Warriors' chances in the Western Conference. Why is Jonathan Kuminga's situation so challenging? As always, contract negotiations are all about money. Last offseason, the Warriors reportedly offered Kuminga an extension worth roughly $30 million per year, an offer that's no longer on the table. Rather, they're seeking a deal around $20 million per year, according to Siegel. It's that distinction that is likely to prolong negotiations as we approach the start of the 2025-26 season. And it's a number that the Warriors will likely refuse to move due to their salary cap space. The Warriors currently carry about $170.5 million in salary. Let's play devil's advocate and assume Kuminga lands his reported asking price of $30 million annually. Golden State's payroll would skyrocket to $200.5 million, launching them past the NBA's first apron and leaving them roughly $7 million shy of the second. Add in Melton at the $5.7 million taxpayer mid-level exception and Horford on a veteran minimum, and the Warriors would enter the second apron. On the other hand, if Kuminga signs for $20 million annually, the Warriors stay below the first apron and keep the flexibility to add more pieces, including Melton and Horford. That $10 million difference would also make the young forward much easier to move in a trade. Why not sign Melton and Horford now? It's a logical question, and the reasoning becomes clear once it's broken down. When a team surpasses the first apron, it is not allowed to acquire a player in a sign-and trade. If the Warriors sign Melton and Horford before extending Kuminga, they risk crossing that threshold. In turn, they'd lose the flexibility to receive a player back in a potential sign-and trade involving Kuminga. Golden State's offseason will continue to rely on the standstill it's currently in with Kuminga. So, the priority remains to either bring Kuminga back to the Bay or to find a buyer in the trade market. It will take Warriors just one signing to make the steal of the offseason. This could be incredibly valuable. The Golden State Warriors have yet to make a single signing over 3 weeks into NBA free agency, but that doesn't mean they aren't set for a major steal in the way of a former guard. While Al Horford has been the prominent name linked to the Warriors since the start of free agency, DeAnthony Melton has joined the veteran center as players expected to sign with the franchise once the future of Jonathan Kuminga is eventually resolved. DeAnthony Melton could be the steal of the offseason. Once Melton's signature and his return to the Warriors is finalized, It could easily become the steal of entire NBA offseason. Fans and analysts around the league won't necessarily be proclaiming that in the next few months, but Golden State fans know exactly the sort of impact that Melton could provide when play gets underway next season. After signing a one-year, $12.5 million contract with the Warriors last offseason, it didn't take long for Melton to prove just how perfect of a fit he would be next to Stephen Curry in the backcourt. Having missed a few games early due to a lingering back issue from his time in Philadelphia the previous season, Melton won the starting two-guard spot and averaged 16.5 points, 7.0 rebounds, 3.0 assists, and 2.0 steals across his brief two-game sample before an ACL injury ruined his season. Within those 2 games, Melton shot 50% from three-point range and Golden State were a combined +20 in his 53 minutes as they recorded impressive victories over the eventual champion Oklahoma City Thunder on the road, before taking down Klay Thompson and the Dallas Mavericks in the veterans' return to Chase Center. Melton was set to become one of the steals of last offseason while on a contract paying him over $12 million. If he can return healthy and build upon that, imagine the sort of value he'd provide on a minimum deal. With Horford expected to get the taxpayer mid-level exception, $5.7 million, one can only assume Melton will be on a minimum unless the Warriors can open up more room by not taking back much salary in a Kuminga sign-and trade, unlikely. It's not often you have a minimum contract veteran player capable of starting games, closing games, and playing over 25 minutes. Even the veteran guards that have just accepted buyouts or have been waived, Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, and Marcus Smart, weren't willing to accept a minimum deal with their new teams. Warrior fans can rightfully be frustrated at the lengthy nature of this free agency process, but there's still time for the roster to get considerably better, and Melton may be a key pillar within that. Warriors should reunite with 42.5% three-point threat, 6'6" guard to assist Stephen Curry. Jonathan Kuminga's ongoing restricted free agency saga has held the Golden State Warriors front office hostage this offseason. Golden State and the franchise's former number 7 overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft have yet to make progress towards a resolution, whether it be through sign-and trade or the 22-year-old deciding to return for the time being. The Warriors have not made a single move in free agency due to the Kuminga stalemate, but the dynastic organization will still be aiming to support their star trio of Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green by acquiring veteran help as the summer rolls along. In fact, it's plausible to believe that the Warriors could develop interest in a proven role player and fantastic three-point marksman, Alec Burks, in the coming weeks. At 34 years old, Burks concluded his 14th NBA season in 2024-25 as a member of the Miami Heat. With Miami, he proved to remain as one of the league's best pure distance shooters. In 49 appearances and 14 starts, the former number 12 overall pick in the 2011 NBA draft to the Utah Jazz contributed 7.3 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 1.1 assists while knocking down a blistering 42.5% of his 4.2 three-point attempts for the Heat this past season. Though he's displayed a serviceable overall offensive skill set upon entering the association as a lottery pick with the Jazz, Burks' supreme jump shooting alone could warrant an eventual call from the Warriors' general manager Mike Dunleavy prior to the beginning of the 2025-26 campaign. The Warriors' hypothetical addition of the journeyman guard would mark his second stint with the franchise, as he averaged 16.1 points and shot 37.5% from distance in 48 games for the club in 2019-20 before being traded at the midseason mark to the Philadelphia 76ers. If Burks were to rejoin head coach Steve Kerr's rotation for the Warriors alongside two of the game's greatest three-point shooters in Curry and Buddy Hield, he could make a positive impact on the franchise's heavily utilized bench unit as they chase another championship victory in 2025-26. Golden State Warriors reportedly have agreements with two free agents during slow offseason. It has been a slow offseason for the Golden State Warriors as they have not made any moves outside of the 2025 NBA draft. During the draft, the Warriors selected Alex Tui and Will Richard in the second round, but outside of those two additions to their roster, Golden State has yet to do anything else this summer. This comes as a surprise to many as the Warriors were expected to make multiple moves to upgrade their roster around their star trio of Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green to chase another championship next season. Instead, they have seen other teams in the Western Conference make major upgrades to their roster, such as the Houston Rockets and Denver Nuggets, while they have stayed the same. Of course, the Warriors are still waiting for restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga to make his decision, and while they have awaited his decision, they have lost out on multiple free agent targets. Despite this, Clutch Point's Brett Siegel recently reported that the Warriors do have 2 agreements in place once Kuminga makes his decision. According to Siegel, Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton are expected to sign with the Warriors as they have verbal agreements already in place with Golden State and are now just waiting for Kuminga to make a decision. This is massive news for the Warriors as it appears as though they are going to land Horford, who will be a major upgrade to their center position, as well as Melton, who will give them a great scorer off the bench. Of course, the Warriors have been linked to Horford for most of the offseason, though it was reported that other teams were interested, including the Los Angeles Lakers, and he was also considering retirement. Despite this, it appears as though the veteran center will be heading to Golden State along with Melton, which will be 2 key additions to their roster, though they will not be finalized until Kuminga's situation is resolved. Golden State Warriors coach turns down job with Knicks. One member of the Golden State Warriors coaching staff will not join Mike Brown in New York. The New York Knicks have not had a lot of success going after the coaches they wanted this offseason. They were denied by multiple teams when trying to find a new head coach after dismissing Tom Thibodeau before eventually settling on the recently fired Mike Brown. Those struggles have carried over into filling out Brown's assistant coaching staff. Recently, the Dallas Mavericks and New Orleans Pelicans have turned down the Knicks for permission to speak with Jay Triano and James Borrego to be Brown's lead assistant. A name who was rumored to be on the Knicks list was Golden State Warriors lead assistant Terry Stotts. According to SNYZ and Begley, however, Stotts has no plans to go anywhere, and will return to the Warriors. Stotts just joined the Warriors last season after being an assistant with the Milwaukee Bucks for about 3 months in the 2023 offseason, leaving the organization in the preseason, a sign that things weren't going well with Adrian Griffin leading that team. And they weren't, as Griffin was fired months into the season despite a 30-13 start. You can take GSW's Terry Stotts off of any speculative list of candidates for Mike Brown's coaching staff. Per league sources familiar with the matter, Stotts doesn't plan on going anywhere, will be back with the Warriors in 2025-26. It is a little surprising that Stotts hasn't found another head coaching opportunity yet after nearly a decade as the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers from 2012 to 2021, finishing with the second most wins in franchise history, only behind the legendary Jack Ramsey. He also had head coaching stints with the Atlanta Hawks and Milwaukee Bucks in the early to mid-2000s.